I don't remember when I first felt this weight. I do remember the first time this weight, this grief, truly overwhelmed me. It was at a youth leader training module. The speaker, who I should say is someone I deeply respect and would consider a friend, was telling a story. The story was about a friend of a friend, someone I don't think he actually knew. The point of the story was, I think, that we needed to be there as youth workers, that we needed to be dedicated, committed. For me, it was a familiar story. The first sign that something was wrong was tension in my stomach. As the story began to unfold about this one person, names and faces began to tumble through my mind. The speaker would mention drugs, and the names and faces of youth and adults I knew who struggled, or didn't bother to struggle at all, would flash before me. I began to be angry with the speaker for dredging this up, for telling a story that was removed from him while the clinical word is triggering, while he triggered me with this story. The story continued, and the relationship was on and off, and hard on the helper. I felt no sympathy as more faces and more names pounded my brain. I felt like I was on an unstable mountain slope, and that the whole thing could give way at any moment, sweeping me away in a torrent of chaotic grief. And then the speaker announced she disappeared. A single name, a friend of 10 years and who had disappeared, was the last straw. It felt like being in an avalanche. Gasping and sobbing, I stumbled from the room. I staggered across the hall, collapsed under a coat rack, and cried. Not a manly single tear, not subdued snuffles. I bawled, can't talk, can hardly breathe, chest racking, going to puke, bawled like a baby. I don't know how long that lasted. At the break, some of the other youth pastors came by to check on me. The older ones who knew me and knew what I did had little to say. Some quiet hugs and assurances, which was all they could do then, and they were wise enough to know it. Others had no idea what to do with me. One young fellow came up and informed me that God had given him a scripture for me. I listened intently, hopefully. When he finished, he nodded, "Job well done," and walked away. I thought hard for a moment, and then finally smiled and thought, swing and a miss. I do sort of appreciate him trying. I've had other breakdowns since then, and other even greater, more painful losses. If anything, this work seems to hurt more the longer I do it. For almost 20 years now, I've been trying to figure out what to do with this grief, this weight that I carry with me. I've finally decided that next summer, I'm taking it on a road trip.